right? First and foremost, we like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Biashah Double Dot, the house of David. All right? This is Men of Valor Las Vegas camp, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, we're going to go ahead and get started into camp and the water for, tuning in, for you brothers and sisters tuning in. And shalom to you. That's the same thing with I was just a second ago. All right, but if you've been while the brother's looking for the script, if you've been keeping up in the news, hey, it's almost that time. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is moving these chess pieces. All right, he's moving these chess pieces around these pawns in this game. All right, to bring forward the prophecies. All right, that the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Abaratazah, we be those men. All right, have been out here on the highways and byways teaching, starting with the Apostle Tahar on down. All right, all the elders of the camp. All right, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Gabar. Apostle's been out here teaching 30, 40 plus years. Okay, but now all these things you're seeing start to come to pass through the power and will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Salaki, got a demon over by the whip. Gotta keep circumspect. But let's go ahead and get it.
This is Book of Psalms, chapter 109, verse 1. It says, "Hold not thy peace, O power of my praise. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue."
God. So we ask Yahweh Bashem Yahushai not to hold his peace. All right? And to hear our prayers. All right? Because the wicked are on us. All right? Ultimately, because we went off, but the wicked are still on us nonetheless. All right? And it's for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Argentinians, Mexicans. All right? You are the biblical children of the Most High, who the world ignorantly calls God in Jesus Christ. Okay? His name is not Jehovah. All right? His name is not Yah. These are all titles that this world has given to him and his son. All right?
They compass me about also with words of hatred and fight against me without a cause.
Go ahead. So the words of hatred is all these other nations speaking against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and 2/3 of our own people. All right? Hating the Most High and his son, Yahweh Shai. Hating Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? And even if they're so-called Christians, all right, when you say the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, they get offended. As if they know the scriptures or something. As if they really think that the letter J has been in the alphabet in the Hebrew. All right? Because J didn't come in until 1534. All right? And then it was entered into the alphabet, I believe, at 1634 or 1636, roughly. All right? So his name couldn't be Jesus or Jehovah. All right? The original text of the Bible was written in Paleo, Hebrew, and Aramaic. All right? And Greek. When, like, God, after it got translated, I couldn't think of the word. God.
Verse 4, "For my love they are adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. And they have rewarded me evil for good, and hatred for my love."
God, and who rewards Yahweh Bashem Yahushai evil for good? All right? That's hey, first and foremost, because it's only about our nation. It's only about what you see right here on this sign. This one stick that you see right here. All right, that is biblical. All right, this one stick right here is first, you 2/3 of our own nation. All right, God, and that's the whole nation. That's the grievous images. All right, that's calling on the wrong name. You know, you wear a fucking cross. All right, with supposed to be the Messiah. All right, spread out in his worst hour, and then glorify the shit. I got it. I'll let you go ahead and break it down. Go back and forth today. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 36. And it reads, Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, into a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
So, he said, pretty much all he said was, y'all want to be worshiping other false idols, then okay, go ahead. I'm gonna set you up. And look how he set us up. But, you still got that king over you. That's the president right now. The government. The people in the background making all the choices. But that's how we got into this position that we in right now, because we started worshiping other gods and just going off as a nation. And it's back at a point to where it's too much. It's too much wickedness in the world. That's why this place is going down.
God, this is the book. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst all the nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee.
Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is our true heritage.
What's your so-called nationality? Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are you black?
All right.
Slaveholders raped our ancestors. Our parents black. I don't know black, but our so-called.
What's your father? All right. Hey, there might be a confusion of face. All right.
She still might be a part of this nation.
God. Yeah. Maybe a speckled bird, but nevertheless going to be destroyed for being a 2/3, not wanting to adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, or even seeking or wanting to know. All right? Because you have to want to know more. All right? If you think this is a good case that you're in, and this is an abomination of a kingdom, all right? This is a queendom, and it's still an abomination. All right? Because what's pleasurable here is filthy. All right?
Back in Psalms 109, says verse 5, and they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand.
Hey, that wicked, and who's that wicked man? All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and confederate of other nations, but chiefly Esau, Edom. All right? That's that wicked, bloody man who continuously, day in and day out, century after century, day after day, year after year, month after month, continued on, all right, to put hell on these people that you see on the chart. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, all the way down to Mexico. All right?
Don't like it. That's just what it is.
God.
This is a heritage.
God, this book isn't for everybody, as it's thought. All right, you think you can be saved? You think you can be a part of the rapture? All right.
Everybody want to be grafted in.
Right. Your rapture is an abomination unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, it is an abomination to even think that you could be a part of the blessing. Matter of fact. Go ahead. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and they people imagine a vain thing? All right. So why do you heathen rage? All right, and imagine a vain thing that you actually could see salvation if you're not a part of the nation of Israel. All right, this book clearly tells you, if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, that it is only about the nation of Israel. All right, salvation is only about the nation of Israel. Okay, you will be happy eventually. All right, eventually, after you get done with your servitude. Another word for servitude is bondage. After bondage, there's another word. It's called slavery. All right? You will go into captivity, slavery. If you're not a part of this elect nation right there, and 2/3 of our own people will perish and have to come back.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book.
So,
That goes for Esau too.
yeah,
Salvation ain't for everybody, but judgment is.
God. And that's adding on to the book. The fact that you think salvation is for everybody. But like the brother said, judgment is for everybody. Everybody gets judged. All right. And you get judged, even though the law, statutes, and commandments were not for you, they're for the nation of Israel, being that you did not adhere and follow them, okay, to the best of your ability, being a heathen nation, all right, because we're going off, and definitely you're going to go off. But nevertheless, you're still going to be judged for that. John.
This book of Psalms, chapter 109, verse 6, it says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin.
God, let his prayer become sin. All right? And because, the wicked pray, they just have a different prayer. Their prayer is to do away with Israel. All right? Their prayer is for them to forever be in rulership, to get their blessing back. All right? Because essentially, hey, our older brother, Esau Edom, all right, had the blessing. All right, but he didn't care enough about it to adhere to do what it was necessary for him to do for it. All right?
So he despised his blessing.
So he despised this blessing, as thus saith the Bible. All right, he despised the blessing that the Most High had already deigned for him, being the firstborn. But ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushua rejected him.
Verse 8. Hey, and it goes for all these other doctrines that people are praying. Let's say that their prayers are become sin. Because most of the time, what is they praying for?
God.
The wicked, they doing some witchcraft, and other, they praying in vanity.
God.
Hey, look at the new information on that Catholic Church up in Canada. They said that they just found like 750 kids buried underneath the land.
And it's if one Catholic church was doing it, they all had to be doing it. Why? Because they have one head, one leadership. All right, which is the so-called Pope. All right, the so-called Holy One. All right, so he gave that order for it to be okay.
Most of those kids was probably dead.
God.
It's probably dead.
And they were doing because wicked sacrifices. All right. You have wicked sacrifices that they do continually for the left-hand side. All right. These blood rituals, blood sacrifices, and all this witchcraft and everything. All that's real. You live in a world that is a balance, that is good and bad. All right. Righteous and unrighteous, hot and cold. All right. It's duality. Man, woman, fire, ice. Duality is across all things. Give me one case where there's not a duality. One. You can't. If you have a seed, what does a seed bring forth? A tree. If you have a seed of a tree. God. God.
This is Book of Psalms, chapter 109, verse 7 says, "When he shall be judged, let him be condemned. Let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office."
Hey, let his days become few and let another take his office. All right. And which office of that? It's not the office of righteousness. It's the office of wickedness. All right. And another to take his office. We want that office to be destroyed. Why? Because he's the chief. All right. He's the chief of all these nations. So that office of chief, all right, of that rulership, Yahweh Shai is coming back to take that out and put himself in and his nation.
Verse 9, "Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out their desolate places."
God, all these, like you kept our families broken. All right, you kept our women, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Seminole Indians. You kept our women harlots. All right, hoes in the street, sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Got our men out here of Israel being homos. All right, and women lesbians. All right, that's not of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hey, repent, Israel, come back. Come back, Israel. Repent for your sins.
Seeking out those desolate. That's also the for the wicked, you know. They
Yeah.
will have to seek out their desolate places. They're going to have to go high. That's the only chance they got.
God.
Everything is going to come back to double fold.
Had something, but I lost it. Put this right here.
Verse 11, "Let the extortioner catch all that he has."
So like it. Who is the number one for extortion? All right, number one, chief nation, Esau, Edom. All right, what is that guy's name? Enron, Ralph Nader, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, number one, continuously extortion. All right, they continuously set you up, and this Hollyweird, all right, what they do is they have parties or whatever, and then get you doing something, a lewd act or something like that. Then they go ahead and extort you for it. All right, if you don't do this, if you don't adhere to this, we're gonna go ahead and leak this document. All right, and you know it's true because it's been done over and over and over and over. You seen it with when they released something. What's the incident? Eddie Murphy. All right, sleeping with a trans. All right. Hey, nobody wanted that to get out. Eddie didn't want it to get out, but it got out. But then what happened? They boosted his career. All right, and then people tend to start forgetting about it. God.
It's verse 11, "Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children."
God. Hey, yeah, how about Shemiah Shai said there is not going to be any mercy for you devils. All right, or your father's fucking children. All right. Hey, they gonna have to get by. They gonna have to learn to be okay with it. All right, because you're going into captivity. You so-called white people. All right, you Edomites and you other nations. You are going into slavery. All right, thus saith the Bible.
Verse 12, "Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children, let his posterity be cut off, and in the generation following, let their name be blotted out.
God, absolutely. Hey, and we pray to you, how about Shimei Shai every day that your name will be blotted out here after 1,000 years.
So, God,
God, we are excited through the will and power of Yahweh Shimei Shai when he sends Yahweh Shai back and cracks those clouds in a so-called UFO, or what is it, UAP. All right, always changing the name of shit. All right, this UAP. God.
starting to see all these things come out because the devil don't have no other choice.
God. Hey, and you continuously,
Gotta tell him. So,
yeah, you continuously sit there and say that, oh, it's gonna get better. We're tweaking to change things. You got this devil in office, Biden, all right? This fucking devil right here, all right? This devil right here okays everything. All right. Hey, call all Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Bashim Kakadash for it. All right, because he's just eating up the time.
everything that nobody wants.
Exactly. He okays everything. All right. So therefore, if he's okaying everything, he's just speeding up the time so we can get out of here sooner. All right. You know, you have all these unrighteous decrees coming down the pipeline. You have all these new laws, the anti-Asian Act or whatever that law is. All right. Look into that law. Look into it. There's a lot of stuff that they passed within that law. All right. This whole what is it called? They got it called what is it called? Shut down for the
Or no, for the
climate shutdown. All right, a climate lockdown. They're gonna lock down for the fucking climate. They want to take your personal vehicles. All right.
Look at what the word climate means.
God.
It's a condition.
God.
You know, so under any condition, you know, that they could put this in effect, you know, I'm sure that they could back it up with that law that they about to throw down. But look, that also goes into the drawing a blank right now. Damn. That goes into them telling on themselves because that video was like yeah, that video was from like earlier, right when the pandemic started, right?
Oh.
Right when Biden got into before Biden got into the presidency. You know, I think it was back in December of 2020.
Oh.
So that's his plan. I gotta fix it. It says, look at Job chapter 9, verse 20. It says, if I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. This is book of Job chapter 9, verse 20. It says, if I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. You know,
who justifies themselves?
nah, that's the whole description of it because they call themselves white. You know, Edom calls himself white.
Right. Which white is pure, without blemish.
That's that mental program.
Right. And black is negative. You know, with blemish. A negative. It's negative in its term, in the definition of black. All right, but what Jake continuously does is Jake continuously wants to be, you know, on one accord, wants to be with these other nations. All right, you want to be somebody. All right, you want to be better. All right, and you can't get any better. You can't get any better, Jake, without Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, that's who's going to make our nation better. That's who's going to make the world better. All right, the universe. Everything goes through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. There is nothing, not even a grain of sand. All right, can move without the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, say so. But Jake, you continuously want to be somebody else, and these people hate you. All right, these other nations hate you, and they're waiting and praying. They've been praying on you all these years, all this time. All right, and now they're really praying for your downfall more than ever. Why? Because they got a variance. All right, they got a 1-9. All right, to help, and these riots.
They wasn't here.
And all the riots, you know, I think it's the smell, it's the frankincense and stuff, you know. But all these riots and all these uproars of the people, you know, these people continuously have an excuse. All right, with that BLM shit. All right, that's an excuse to roll on Jake. All right, all this they do so they can make sure, and they set up so they can make sure to take you out, so they can perform their agenda. All right, which is depopulation. All right, you have the Georgia Guidestones for that. Look on that alone. But it's depopulation of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Seminole Indians, Haitians, Guatemalans, Puerto Ricans, Argentinians, Mexicans. All right, they want to take you out. What's your so-called nationality, boss? What's your so-called nationality? Mexican? You know you belong to the Most High? Yeah, you actually, if you got a second, let me show you right quick. All right? So you right here, you said you're so-called Mexican, right? All right? You so-called Mexican, your biblical nationality would be the tribe of Issachar. All right? You know God has a people, right? So you are part of his people. If your father's line goes back, so-called Mexican, it goes back to Issachar. You are the chosen nation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We are one nation. So-called Negroes, so-called West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, the Argentinian, the Chile, the Colombian, the Uruguay, Mexicans. We are all of one nation. We are one family. So that's supposed to be, huh? That's how it's supposed to be. But all these other people, the so-called white people, so-called Chinese people, and everything, they're not of our nation. They're a heathen nation. And we'll prove it to you in scripture. Go ahead and pull it out for him, huh? Yeah, pull what it was. So being that the Most High has a nation, all right, we're men of that nation. All right. So being that we're men of that nation, we need to stand up for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and call upon his name. The world ignorantly calls him God or Jesus Christ or Jehovah or Caesar Borgia. Yeah, Caesar's Christo. All right.
No. Let you just know that this is in the Bible. Let me just what
Bible is that?
This is the King James version. It's the 1611 though. So yep. So it got the apocrypha. That was a book that was hidden. You know, so we didn't, and it answers a lot of questions that are they had hid it from us, and it got republished.
I think it got republished in 1764, 17 or 1864. I can't remember exactly. But he's going to read this one.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1 says, "Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls." So those were the sons of Jacob. You know, he got the surname of Israel after he wrestled the angel, and it's also a nation. So you know the people that are Israeli out in the land of Israel right now, they're not really who they say they are. They say that they're Jewish. Jew meaning light. You know, Jewish meaning light. So they're like the Jews, and this is where the true name Jew comes from. It comes from the tribe of Judah.
You can understand that because if you bought a car that's used, what do you call it? Somebody say it's a new car. It's new to you, right? It's newish, right? It's newish. It's not new, but it's newish. It's new to me, right? The same thing. This is Judah. They're Jewish. So just always remember, anything that has ish on it is something like. You know, my shoes are newish.
So Yahweh Shai, so-called, he was a Jew, right? You know, so that's how you also get the so-called black.
Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and prove that right now. That he came from the tribe of Judah. Salakia. Or you want to pull that, Matthews? Because I got Exodus right here. No. No. So this is the book of Matthews right here. It's going to be the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. And it reads, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua." It says Jesus right there because J wasn't invented. It wasn't a letter until 1636. It wasn't in the alphabet until 1636, and it became a letter and recognized as a letter in 1534, roughly. Look it up. We can, yeah. Matter of fact, look it up for
Looks like you guys know it good.
you know. And then continue on to read. It says, "For he shall save his people from their sins." All right. So he said, it said his people. So what is his people? What does that sound like to you? What would you say that is? Yeah, that's my car. If I say that's my woman, what would you think? She belongs to me, right? It's mine. That means don't touch her. He said his people. His people. So we're his people. He has ownership over us. Go ahead and pull Amos.
How come other foolish things from God are lesser?
Are lesser because the Most High made them lesser. He made them to be under servitude. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull that. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 3. And it reads, "And Moses went up unto the power." Sorry, I'm going to read it verbatim. Let me start over. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 3. "And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say unto the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel." All right, so now that was what we read from before, right? "He have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself." All right, so that's possessive. Once again, he said, "I brought you unto myself. I didn't let anybody else take you. I brought you to me directly." Right? Verse 5. "Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people." Well, above all. What is all? Everything. Right? He said above all people. Continuing on to read, "For all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation." That word holy means to be separate. All right, so we're supposed to be separate from all these other heathen nations. Why are we supposed to be separate? Because we're holy. We're holy. We're better than. It's hard to believe for some people, but we're better than. Think about it. Think about technology alone, okay? You're so-called Mexican, right? What do they have so-called Mexicans do work-wise? Who builds all the houses? So-called Mexican. Who tills all the fields? So-called Mexicans. Who's the most mechanics? So-called Mexicans. Right? Because Jake is the salt of the earth. All right. So Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Seminole Indians, everything that you see on this chart, all right, we are the salt of the earth, and the world was made for our sake. It was made for us to be kings and priests and to rule these other nations with a rod of iron.
Like the most of it, they're doing the opposite thing.
But they're doing the
Other
opposite thing.
people, yeah.
But it's doing the opposite thing because we disobeyed. We disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. We eat pork. We eat shrimp. We eat lobster. We eat bottom feeders. Why would you eat something that eats its own shit? Because you've been taught that it's okay to eat. Nobody told you, right? You like shit. I just need to eat. Yeah, it's a sin. You think it tastes good because you've been taught. You've been taught and trained that it tastes good, right? Right. So you season it up, throw some butter on it.
That's what God is doing. We're technically letting you know these change of ways and hopefully not be a part of the rat pit that Lord's going to put on this place.
Right. Because
That's what's going to happen.
this right here is what's coming. Right? That's what's coming.
World War III.
World War III. The ICBM's nuclear thermal fire is coming.
That's one, right?
This will be the last. This will be the war to end all wars. As this system as we know it, it'll be done away with. Abaratazar. We'll be in that new kingdom. Abaratazar, we are those men. You have to adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. You have to want to be better than you are right now. You have to want to come back to the Most High, not sleep with another man's girl, not lay with pigs, eat filthy food. You know, you have to try to be better, not commit idolatry. Stop praying to these other false idols, these false gods. Right. And hey, and that right there, you're better off not praying to anybody than to pray one of those false gods.
And something might have been in your spirit not to do that, you know.
God.
I might have put something in your spirit so you couldn't really get into religion and maybe you open up by hearing the name of the Father, you know, how about sin outside.
God. And this is not a religion. It's our heritage. To have another man have two men tell you that you're special. You're special in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You're of his nation. He put his spirit on you to be better. He knows that you're better. He's calling you to be better. He wants you to be better. He don't give a fuck about nobody else outside of his nation. But he's calling you. And it starts with the men first and foremost, because our women are fucked up. Let's be real. So-called black women, so-called Mexican women, so-called Native American women. Our women are fucked up. Loudest mouth. Out there ratchet, you know, being harlots, you know, and they sleep with anybody who got a bag, anybody who can do for them, right? But in truth and honesty, there's no man that can do for them like their men, the men of their nation, because we're leaders. We lead you. A woman needs to be guided in the right direction, you know? If you have daughters or if you have sisters and everything, think when they go off their emotions, they choose a dude off their emotions, they always get fucked up. You know?
Look at Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with Yahweh and with God, and the men has prevailed. So prince that has power, you know, we're made of the Heavenly Father and the powers being the angels and Yahweh Jesus, you know.
I'm gonna give you right before you go, you know, through the will of the power of Yahweh. Let me go ahead and read this for you again. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 36. And it reads, Yahweh shall bring thee, flock it. Let me do. for me? Get Deuteronomy 68. 28 and 68. Lock it. So, there was the Northern Kingdom was over here before. So the so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and everything, they were over in the Americas before the so-called Negroes, all right? Because they had came over here before, all right? But we're still of one tribe, but we are all in captivity, and we have been in captivity. Because who has the lowest wage as far as in the workforce? Undocumented workers. What are typically the undocumented workers? What so-called nationalities do they fall under? Isn't that slavery? Is that not slavery? If you're getting paid the lowest wage possible, or what somebody deems to give you, is that not slavery? That's the same thing they did. But they had free slavery. All they had to do was take care of us. But now they have to give some type of wage so they can take care of themselves to an extent, so they can bring their ass back to work. If they could get away with giving them a house and stuff, they would. But I'm gonna let him go ahead and read this. I got 2 more scripts for you.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 68 says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you."
God, so we were sold into our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. You have the trail of great tears, right?
It's where
Yep.
slaughtering all the Native Americans.
You have the Alamo.
They first came.
God, you have the Alamo. You know, and then you have the Atlantic slave trade. All right, for the Southern Kingdom. You know, so-called Negroes, the so-called Negroes, Haitians. You know.
So he'll bring you into Egypt and we're in Egypt captivity.
God. Right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 36. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, into a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. So other God, hey, what do Christians pray to? They pray to Jesus, right? What does Jesus lay on? He lays on the cross, right? So-called Jesus is on the cross. You know? They what? They don't have some have a picture, some don't, you know? But there's a cross, you know? You go to Catholic Church, there's crosses, there's rosaries and everything, right? Yep. Right? And you go to Muslims, you talk about Muslims, they have a stone. They actually go to Mecca and walk around a fucking rock. They walk around a rock. Why?
Really, that's our identity that was hidden from us. You know?
Oh. And it goes on to say that here. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst the nations. Whether Yahweh shall lead thee. So when we came over in captivity, we forgot who we were. They beat it out of us. You ever seen the movie Roots? Okay. What's your name, boy? What's your name, boy? Beat it out of them.
So the astonishments and those proverbs, you know.
So you so-called being your so-called nationality, Mexican, all right? That's an astonishment. That's a byword. Your nation is Issachar. That's who you belong to. You belong to the Most High, and that's the nation you come out of. You represent your nation. Represent your nation with pride, because you belong to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Fuck everybody else. If they ain't of our nation, fuck them.
That's why this is bad. As a nation.
Right. All right. All right. All right.
So, we out here every Saturday around the same time. So, yeah.
Definitely, repent and come back. God, just bring it up.
book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh. I trust also are made manifest in your conscience.
God. So knowing the judgments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we persuade men. All right, Abaratazah, that man right there of Israel takes heed. You know, but if not, hey, call all Yahweh Bashim Yahushua either way. You know, whether you be marked for salvation or marked for judgment. You know, as long as we get the blood off of our hands as is commanded by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Look at 2nd Esdras chapter 9. I'm gonna start at 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before.
God, measure the time diligently, because the time is at hand where this fucking system is about to go down. You know, this system is going, almost gone. You know, it's on sale right now.
Dollars going, dollars dropping.
Right.
Passed out.
And you ain't got to believe it. You ain't got to take heed to the words that we're telling you. You ain't got to, you can laugh, scoff, come by. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. All right? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, his word will not return unto him void. Roughly paraphrasing scripture. All right? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua ordained it.
Verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Khan, you'll start to understand that this is the very same time that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is coming to visit the world. All right? You see these pestilence. All right? You see these earthquakes. You see these beasts rising up.
You're alone.
Fires.
It's John in the Pink Nest. Hey, you just had that apartment building in Miami.
God.
Fall out of nowhere. Hey, the article today just said that back in 2018, it had there's a report on it that said it had severe structural damage.
God. And they never, took care of it.
Never took care of it because Esau don't care.
God. He could get away with it, so he did.
Got a big settlement check too coming. Don't get sued.
This is the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, and verse 48. He is like a man which built a house and dig deep and laid a foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose and the stream beat vehemently upon that house, it could not shake. Slacky, I read the wrong one.
Don't got a house built on the rock.
God, he doesn't have he has a house built on sand.
That rock's tired, so he can't have a house built on.
Yeah, I read the wrong verse, Slacky. But the verse that I wanted to read, it was built on sand. That house was built on sand. Matter of fact, I'll get this in Matthew. Seven. I'm just trying to get. Yeah, time is up.
Have a foundation built on. Now let's construct it down.
It's good. Probably the rock. See the rock on the side. Done. Lucky, I can.
chapter 9, verse 3.
Oh, I got it.
Therefore,
I found it. I found it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 26. I'm gonna start at 26, or let me start at 27. And it reads, "And the rain descended, and the flood came, and the wind blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." All right, great was the fall of it. Why? Because it wasn't built on that solid foundation. All right. And I read only that piece because I had already told you about it, and we had another script to get. But because that foundation is not there, Esau, Edom has no foundation. They have a foundation on wickedness and all these other heathen nations as well.
that foundation lies
God,
check the receipt.
it's
Find the deceit. Verse 3, Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that they were before thee, even from the beginning.
God. And you seeing uproars of people? That's been happening since late 2018.
More.
And just amping up more and more and more. Hey, now they doing what was it? They did a hit on police officers. You know, is in the past week, what, 7 police officers that died? 7 or 9?
I think in Baltimore, they got a high, like one of the highest crime, murder shit right now.
God. Continuing on.
A bunch of laws going past, just for us to play ourselves in that. People was cooped up for so long, they got outside and didn't know how to act.
God.
And then they in a place that they surrounded with wickedness. So how can you survive? You can't survive without Yahweh Shemel Shah.
God.
Without that name.
Hey,
Without that spirit.
and you see what they did? They put all these they let all these guns be bought, right? And then they're pushing back these gun laws. All right? God.
Or just because the low level just wait till that climate like that. I mean, it's gonna be a mess.
This is only the beginning of the woes.
People can lose their mind. They can have national security guards out here. What is they call
FEMA troops.
What's that?
Yeah.
The troops out here. It's gonna be wild. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So even so, the times also of the highest have been plain beginnings and wonders, and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs.
Right.
That's how the end always came, but Noah had that flood. A bunch of plagues were put on Egypt. Miracles. But everything had an ending. So this captivity is gonna have an ending, like it had in Egypt. This is Esdras chapter 9, verse 7. It says, and every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed.
God, the only way you're going to be able to be saved is calling on that name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truth and sincerity. All right? And if you're a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, being out here, if it is your lot to be on the highways and byways, all right, to fulfill your lot, whether it be a help, all right, whether you're helping the brothers out, in the ministry, whether it be bringing them water, paying tithes, picking them up, whatever.
tell somebody you turn out to be maybe a member of the elect.
God, and and give your testimony. Don't be afraid to give your testimony of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Salvation is not strange, but it's natural.
God,
Something we ain't never seen before.
right? But you continuously, you Jakes continuously keep on thinking about this system and what's going on in this system and how can you get better because you guys did this getting this COVID money. That's like damn. Because you're getting this 1-9 money, all right? All right. You think you're in a better case, right? Be like, oh, I got it now. All right, everything's gonna be better. I got a bag, right? Because you received so-called free money. All right. That free money is leading to your demise. Okay, because you're not even doing anything positive with it, trying to do something for yourself. And to get up out of the situation that you in. You still going to the Louis store. You still going, and trying to play the part.
Still like to have good things. That's still a lot, but everybody is just too much involved in that. That's all that they care about.
God, you think because you think you're in a good case, all right?
Where you're keeping up with the Joneses and
yeah, because you lean upon your own understanding. Matter of fact, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. And it reads, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. All right, so stop leaning onto your own understanding that you got this bag, you got a 6-figure job, that you are better and that you know it all. All right, and that this that Mima, grandma, whatever you call her, whatever, told you or taught you that you're supposed to love everybody. That's leaning upon your own understanding. You didn't even seek and do the research yourself. All right. You pick up a book to try to learn how to sell. You'll pick up a book to try to get women, but you won't pick up a book for your salvation to make you a better man overall. All right. You pick up a book to get that bag. All right. But you won't pick up the book to find out who you are and to make you better.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 3 says, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers. They shall possess it.
God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is here for the elect. All right, he's coming back for his people, but the elect of his people. All right, he brought his people, all of Israel, at one point in time. You remember the story. What happened in Egypt? That's that story where he brought all his nation out. Every Israelite out. All right? That was walking in Egypt, brought them out of the land of Egypt. That was that account where all Israel was going to be saved right there. That were there in the flesh, they will be saved. But now it is a new Exodus and this is a new song being preached and taught. All right, and this new song is that salvation is for the Israelites and the Israelites alone. And that Yahweh is sending his only begotten son, Yahushua, back to deliver the elect, the 144,000 elect men, and then the 1/3. All right, and the 144,000 of that 1/3. But you have to be exclusive Israelite. It's a bloodline club. If you ain't got the blood, you ain't in the club.
Verse 4, and these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear and not of peace.
Okay. We have heard a voice of trembling. All right? Of fear. And not of peace. I mean, what else needs to be said on that particular one? No, but you continuously want to follow the ways, right? You want to continuously be everybody else, but who you really are, who Yahweh Shemi Yahushai made you to be.
But in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but at the end of it, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Hey, and that vision is now. All right? It's the appointed time that Yahweh Shemi Yahushai open this doctrine up. All right? Through Abba Bivens, all right? The apostles, and through Apostle Tahar on down. All right? Opened up this doctrine. This word is worldwide. All right, via the YouTube and other platforms, but mainly YouTube. All right, and this is coming. There's a famine coming. You know,
Saying that for a minute.
God,
saying it because it's going to come.
God, and not just the famine of the bread, but a famine of the word. All right, you're not going to be out here and be able to receive exhortation and hear prophecy.
That comment tell you, back to that interview we were watching, it said there ain't gonna be no more red meat.
God,
so get it while you can.
You know, get it while you can in everything. Get your red meat, but hey, you don't need just meat to live. You don't even need that to live. All right, this word of Yahweh Shemi Yahushai, you can provide and live on that alone. Matthews, you want to grab Matthews? 4, 3.
That's 4 and 4. But he had answered. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 4. But he had answered and said,
and this is written in red. All right, so it's written in red. That's Yahweh Shai speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh.
God, because this is that word. All right, this is that word. We speak Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's words. All right, and he's told you should not live by bread alone. All right, so you're worrying about the famine, the famine that's coming of the food. All right, and there's no need to worry if you believe upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Right? You prep and do little things that you can do, but you're worried about it. There ain't no reason to be worried.
The only reason why Yahweh Shai lasted that long in the desert was because he was with the Most High.
God.
That spirit. That was what was feeding him. Because he was a regular man like everybody else, physically. Just had that Kodash that nobody had. He was
made a little lower than the angels. Just a little lower. So he could suffer here for us and be that ultimate sacrifice to say that it is done. All right? That it is done. That he conquered death. He conquered death in the flesh. All right? Hey, but you people out there choose to you just want to be living what is it YOLO, right? You want to live your best life, you know?
And look where it got you.
Right. Living your best life got you all messed up, you know? I got a proverb very quick. You can find it through a proverb. I got one, but this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 31. Envy thou not thy oppressor, and choose not of his ways. Choose none of his ways. All right, you choose his ways when you adhere to his doctrine, Christianity.
So, vote
When you go vote,
with another person as in rulership. Only the Most High gets to choose who the leaders are.
right? When you believe that this world is still going to go on in this system is still going to continue. All right, that's choosing. All right, that's following after the heathen. I'm gonna read it again. Envy not thy oppressor. Proverbs 3, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. You're choosing his ways when you're listening to him on CNN, Fox News, so on and so forth, these other outlets that America is okay, America's coming back. You're choosing to listen to him. This is the same man that put you and your ancestors into captivity. Ultimately through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but you still follow after this man that is for your demise. All right? Hey, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 19. The way of the wicked is darkness. They know not at what they stumble. All right, because you're in utter darkness, following those wicked nations, following what you see on the TV, on the news. All right, that you want to stand up for Black Lives Matter. That's darkness. You ain't black. All right. You know, but hey, it's coming a day, Abaratazah, a day real soon. Real soon. Oh, hell is gonna break loose. All right. And men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, yeah, we gonna be stable. All right, because wisdom and knowledge is stability of our times. All right, if you want to pull that. But wisdom and knowledge is the stability of our times. So we're gonna be stable. But yet we're still gonna have the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, we're gonna see apparitions and stuff popping off, people getting fucked up, stepping over bodies. You know? Aberrants out, we get turned up. We're those men to put some of you coward ass niggas to death, especially 2/3 of our own fucking nation.
Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Come, the fear of the Lord is his treasure, strength of salvation. Salvation. For look up, our salvation is nigh. You know why the Bible tells you to look up? Why? Because the Most High is coming from the sky. He's going to crack those clouds coming from the east. All right? Coming from the east to bring us back home. All right? To, like, God, enter the thief's house. This is that house. We were stolen. This land was stolen. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the Southern tribe, you were stolen and sold into slavery by other nations. All right, the Northern tribe, the land was stolen that was given to you. All right, they came and colonized this land and stole it from you. So we're all spoils of war. All right, our nation is a spoil of war, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai allowed it so because we went off. Shit, I'm sorry. Hey, I repent, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I want to go home. If these 2/3 want to stay, fuck them. Let them stay. They'll be back on the other side. Hey, that day is coming. Yahweh's gonna send Yahweh Shai back. He's gonna crack those clouds, and this bitch is gonna burn. America is gonna die by thermonuclear fucking fire. It's not my words. It's the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Thus saith the Bible. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 1. And it reads, "For behold, the day is cometh, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, ye all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them none root nor branch." Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to burn this fucking place. And you wicked ass 2/3 niggas and you other heathen nations that are here on this land, all right, of Babylon, spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt, you are going to fucking die by thermonuclear fire, along with pestilence, all right? Before the thermonuclear fire, you're going to have pestilence, all right? And you're seeing that now. You're going to die from wild beasts and beasts that aren't even seen in the world yet, all right? Because they're creating and splicing and slicing all kinds of shit. Right. Verse 2. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. All right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will rise with healing in his wings. For who? The elect. The elect. Damn demon. Tell you. Fucking demons. That bitch is burnt out. All right? Will heal the elect. All right? Bodies will be changed. All right? When we get beamed up in those chariots. All right? And any of you that think that the chariots aren't scriptural, look. One, it's whirlwind chariots. All right? That's the best way they could describe vehicles at that time. There was no automobiles. All right? Come.
Look at Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Then I behold, then I turned and lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying robe. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying robe. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits.
He said he looked up. All right? He looked up. Why? Because salvation is going to come from the skies. All right? We will see our salvation by looking up. All right? You 2/3 and everybody else be looking down. Stuck. All right? The only time we look down is we bow down to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Otherwise, we keep our heads looking up.
Then said he unto me, This is the curse that go forth over the face of the whole earth.
All right. Swat.
Go ahead.
When you look up, all right, And he said, like a flying scroll. All right. A scroll was something that was written on, all right, back in the day. All right. So let's think of, yeah, the white tip. Right. Even think of the Constitution. All right. Was written on scroll paper. All right. National treasures. All right. Those are scrolls. All right. But he's seen it in the sky. And if you go back to the book of Genesis, it says a pillar of fire by night. All right. So that pillar of fire was helping them and leading them through the wilderness.
Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
No. Hey, how about Shimei Al-Shai is making it plain upon tables that these so-called UFOs or UAPs, all right, are the chariots of the Most High, all right?
National security threat.
Con. And they should feel threatened. And they know they're a threat to them because of what they did to the nation of Israel. The devil knows whose he is. The devil knows that he's wicked. He knows that he kept the children of Israel in captivity.
I believe they just released. I haven't looked at this, but I believe that they just released that information. You know?
Come, they released it, yeah, a little bit this week, and they're supposed to release some more.
They're giving out minimal knowledge of what they really know.
Come,
Because it's still censored. It's still got to get filtered for the public. Because then people, they'll make people back out.
come.
Start doing some crazy shit too.
Hey, but people already start doing the crazy shit because they already feel it. They know something is up. All right? You hear sirens more than ever. You know? You got all this stuff happening in this so-called nation, right? And around the world. Hey man, we're at the brink of World War III. The brink. It's knocking on the door. You got that the Iranian who was just killed, and then you got the woman, the wife of the man that was killed, and she said, "I call for all Iranians or Palestinians to stand up, to be a martyr like my husband was." All right. And this woman is calling the men of her nation to war. And saying as a wife, dude, fuck it, we gonna be okay regardless. They have that chant over there. They say "Death to America" all the time.
Hey, it was that commercial where they show the White House blowing up. Hey, those are signs.
Yeah.
Those are signs.
Hey, Esau put it in his own movie.
Right.
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Every movie. Olympus has fallen.
Olympus has fallen. That's what I was thinking about right now.
Olympus has fallen. Hey, what does Olympus go back to? Matter of fact, Rome. Yeah, this is Rome 2.0. And Rome has fallen. Rome went down by gradualism itself. Why would this Rome be any different? How about Shimei Al-Shai deals with gradualism as well? He's gradually fucking this place up to make sure that you get the message, to make sure that his saints, all right, his elect have time. All right, if he did, and he's going to shorten the time on top of that, because if he didn't, there would be no flesh left. Book of Matthew chapter 24. in verse 23 and 24.
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 4, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of the house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof.
Hey, who swears falsely by the Most High's name all the time? All the time. America. And you know why? I'll give you the one thing. When Americans say, and they have in their decree, they're saying in this America, all right, God bless America. No, 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 no. No.
Had to say,
Right.
God bless America. Nobody.
You're right.
We're going to bless you with that fire.
Exactly. You're going to get blessed, all right, like nobody else with that thermonuclear fire.
Yeah.
Other places are going to see it, but they're not going to be laid desolate into waste. It's not going to be a desert wasteland. This land will be a desert wasteland. You Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, Gettys, DuPonts, your other families that changed their names, the Gates, Zuckerberg, or
Zuckerberg.
whatever, you know, all of them, all you are going into fucking captivity. All right. And you're going to be spared. You're going to be spared so you can be the first fruit of captivity. All right. Work real hard. Enjoy your time. Do your Aleister Crowley. Do as thy wilt. Because you have but a little time. And then this shit is over. And then bondage. Hard fucking bondage.
Take time understanding that white rage. Just go,
Yeah,
just go with the
go.
natural spirit.
Go with your natural spirit. Because hard bondage.
I forgot who they were.
It was the general.
I'm trying to understand it too.
It was that general, minister of defense, I think.
Right. Just look in the mirror.
Right.
When you mad, go look in the mirror.
Look, that rage. Get your rage. Do what you are going to do. What you've been continuing to do. You want to understand now to an extent, so you can try to say, "We're sorry." It's too late for sorries. All right. And you couldn't say sorry in the first place because it wasn't ordained for you to say sorry, and for it to be accepted.
Never do that.
Right.
Some folks. Negro Latino. They never do that.
The Bible exposes exactly who you are. Let's go ahead and get that mark right quick. I got a pack of markers.
This is Revelation chapter 13 says that he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heaven, the earth, in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
Those great wonders are this technology. All right. The fires come down from the heaven. That was that. Boom. All right. That was a wonder. That was a wonder to all these other nations. Ain't nobody ever seen anything like that or fathomed anything like that until it happened. Yeah, there was a race for it. All right. But for it to actually be detonated, nobody has ever witnessed that type of power.
That deceives.
No.
the word devil in Greek, diablos, that means deceiver. Someone deceiving everybody right now. Can only speculate, but
Other nations, 2/3 of our own nation. You know, you deceive continuously in everything that you do.
verse 14, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
I just heard what you said. Go to Acts 13:6.
Uh,
Go to Acts
what you want
13:6.
me to
What you just
What it
said, they
say?
wanted you to worship the image of the beast.
nah,
Go,
I'm breaking down right now.
go to Acts 13:6.
Let him break this down, then we'll go to Acts 13.
It already happened. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It already happened. It tells you Acts 13:6.
Thank you.
Yeah, how about you be outside? Call out, yeah, how about you be outside by 7 o'clock done.
And God, so Revelations 13 and 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
Hey, that Jake is deceived. He's deceived. Nah, that's I was just trying to humor him. This is crazy ridiculousness. You know? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Hey, what's y'all so-called nationality? Trinidad? Oh man, I know y'all belong on the side, right? I know y'all belong to children of Israel. Yeah, you're God's chosen people. Hey, repent and come back, Israel. Hey, they don't want to hear. All right. Nevertheless, hey, it's still blood off of our hands. Try to give them an opportunity. All right, go ahead.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
God had the wound by the sword and did live. All right. So who was wounded? All right. Rome. Rome was wounded. Had a wound, but they still lived. All right. And we know that because look at how this whole system is set up. Look how this democracy, all right, is pumped throughout all the world. All right. So, such as Rome in that time was pumped out through all the known world at that time to conquer all the world. All right. This is Rome 2.0. This is Rome with better technology. They thought they had a better promise. All right. They thought they had it in the bag this time. But no.
And
Rome got double jeopardy. All right. They got to rule twice. They got to rule twice and go down twice. All right. And this time is going to be the final time. All right.
verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
And that first image was the image of Caesar Borgia. All right. Christianity pushing that doctrine. You know, iconoclasm. All right. Changing the faces of the judges thereof. All right. Making the angels little white naked babies. All right. Putting Yahweh Shai as a earth pig. All right. Yeah, Michelangelo, the finger of God and stuff. Look, oh, that's an abomination. All right. That's an abomination. You look up the word Jesus, it goes back and we break it down. It means earth pig. All right. They want to call the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, the deliverer, an earth pig. Man, fuck these devils. They're filthy. You're not gonna sit here and say that the Most High had an abomination for his son. You fuckers are going off, and that's where you're going to be destroyed by thermal nuclear fire righteously. Righteously. All right? And you're gonna burn. You're not even gonna burn like pork fat, even though that you're fucking filthy.
16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a thing in their right hand or in their forehead.
So that right hand, all right, you know, there's a shortage on those chips, all right, but that's all right. They're gonna push out more. That's what they're getting ready for.
Like there's a shortage.
Right.
They got all.
Yeah, exactly. Their machines are focusing on making those. All right. And the forehead, hey, look at Elon Musk. Look at Jeff Bezos. All right, all these other companies that are making these chips. All right, all these things to go in your forehead, to merge man and machine. All right, transhumanism. All right, you see them slowly doing away with digital money, or Slocky doing away with the money and turning it into digital. Right? You see the fluctuation of all these Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and all blah blah blah. All right, you see all this digital currency, all right, fluctuating right now until they bring out their currency. Then they gonna dead all that shit. All right, they gonna make all that null and void. You have who is it? Tropical Smoothie don't even accept cash anymore. Went there the other day, tried to give them 20. They're like, "Oh, we don't accept cash."
Verse 18, here is wisdom, let them that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
No. Hey, this is something that is this is something that is coming down the pipeline from way back when. All right, you have all those old movies. The world is ending. All right, the kingdom of heaven has been at hand since Yahweh Shai walked the earth. All right, so obviously, if it started then, there sometime has to come to an end. For every beginning, there has to be an end. All right, in this system, there's only one thing that is without end, and that's the kingdom of heaven. Starting with Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and his nation. It's a world without end. But all these other systems had their chance and time to rule. There goes the balance. Every nation has had their time to rule. Now, it's our time. We got next, Lord willing. The will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Abarat, that we be those men. We have next, but our nation has next. No? I'll check the time. No. And lock here. Hey, Shalom, Akim. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. So all these other nations, all right, that sit here and devise vain and imaginary thoughts and devise how to stop us from being a nation continuing on. All right. But this place is through, man. This place is through. Slog, yeah. I lost my train of thought because I started getting upset. So Yahweh Shem Shai says, matter of fact, let me read this. This is the book of Proverbs. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 26. And he says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Hey, I wanted to bring that out because their situation had occurred. And somebody was wrong. All right. Did us wrong. All right. And so Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will mock at your calamity and laugh when your fear come. And Abaratazah, we are those men, we'll get to laugh at your calamity and mock when your fear come because you don't understand. You don't have the wisdom. All right. You didn't adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments. You didn't try to get better and seek Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. So it's like I had a frustration this week, so that was just sitting on me. When you're verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. All right, and what's that whirlwind? What's that whirlwind? That whirlwind that's coming, that's a chariot. All right, destruction. Hey, those chariots are going to cause mass destruction. All right.
Right now we got mass judgment on
God,
mass judgment.
that apartment building, mass judgment. Those oh, what was it? I think it was like 100. It's like 100 people missing and 17 dead, something like that. That's a pretty large scale. Not even talking about what this other pestilence is doing. All right, so-called, and getting knocked off. Not talking about what the police are doing. All right, and not talking about what Jakes are doing. And not talking about the stuff that's unreported. Not talking about the famine, all right, in other countries. You got was it Ethiopia? I think it's Ethiopia that over like 200 kids have just died. Just died. You know, Salaki, if I got it wrong, the exact place where it is wrong, but I don't remember exactly, but I believe it was India, Ethiopia. It was one of those. But like 200 kids alone just died from famine. Hey, all those spirits, all those souls go back to where it came from. Who did it come from? Yahweh. Whether you are of the nation of Israel or not, all those spirits return back to Yahweh. You know, so that mass judgment, all right, he's collecting those souls back. Judgment is going forth throughout the entire planet. All right, but he's starting in his house first and foremost. Yeah, they got my shoe right there. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 2. And it reads, to know wisdom and instruction is to perceive the word of understanding, to receive instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. It's lucky. It's lucky.
They only come out with
Then they go home. Slovakia. Um, I forgot where it was. Okay. Verse 4, to give subtlety to the simple and to the young man knowledge and direction. All right, so these words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai give knowledge and direction. All right, so if you're adherent to these words, statutes and law, statutes and commandments, you're not only going to seek knowledge, all right, and be better, all right, as a man or a woman, all right, as a husband, a father, son, a daughter, all right, you're going to be better overall. All right. And the wisdom, all right, to understand the wisdom is to understand the law, statutes, and commandments and the judgment of the Most High. All right. That he's not out here to save everybody. That he's only here for a particular set of people. And that people is his nation. He's not out here for white people. He's not out here for Chinese people. All right? You could be a confusion of face, but be a part of the nation of Israel. All right? But he's not out here for these so-called other nations. They are the enemy of Israel. The true Israel. Not the true Jews. Not Jewish. No? I just like I was just right there.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, it reads, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, but will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land."
God, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will have mercy on Jacob. As brother read earlier, the surname of Israel, or the surname of Jacob, is Israel. All right? So he will have mercy on Jacob, all right, and surname Israel, the nation of Israel. Yasharallah. All right? Mercy. What does mercy mean? All right? Forgiveness. He will take it easy because we're coming out of our punishment. All right? Yet I will still choose Israel.
Verse continuing on, "And the stranger shall be joined with them, they shall cleave to the house of Jacob."
Hey, the stranger shall be joined with Israel. First of all, those strangers are the Israelite foreigners. All right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as you see on the sign, if your spirit goes back to these bywords, which is really your biblical nationality right here, all right? If your spirit goes back to your father's line, you're of the nation of Israel. No matter if you look like a so-called white man, no matter if you look like a so-called Chinese man, no matter if you look like a so-called African, all right? No matter what, if your father's line goes back to these bywords or your biblical nationality, all right, you are a child of Israel, and salvation is made for you. Yahweh sent his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, to shed his blood for the nation, but first and foremost for the ones that he gave him. The 1/3, the 144,000 elect men. 144,000 elect men and the men, women, and children of the multitude of the 1/3.
14:2, and people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. They shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
God. How about Shimei Shai said we will rule over our oppressors? All right. That's why he goes to say in the book of Proverbs, envy not thy oppressor. All right. You're envying somebody who has a fucked up end. You know, we're not supposed to bow ourselves down to other gods, let alone bow ourselves down to another fucking heathen nation. And they're fucking idols made with hand, wood and stone. All right, you're okay with that. God, their falsification of power was put in place by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Why? Because he wanted it that way. He ordained it.
Get them so far. They don't get people that are susceptible.
No.
People that are people that got a weak.
Hey, you gotta thank Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If your father line goes back here, then he made you part of this nation. All right? He made you part of the nation for a reason. You might not know the reason right now. All right? But you will, even if you're 2/3. You know? This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. And it reads, who are Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenant and the giving of the law and the service of the power and the promises. All right. And what is that promise? The promise was to see salvation. All right. The promises was that Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world English calls Jesus Christ, would be sent back for his people. All right. That's a part of the promise. Verse 5, who are the fathers and whom, as concerning the flesh, that goes to show you right there that Jesus Christ was not a spirit. He was not made who you call Salakia, who you call fucking Jesus Christ was not a spirit. All right, and it goes to show you that he was not a spirit that was made by a spirit, because a spirit cannot have sex. God, it wasn't an immaculate conception. All right, said by the flesh. How can a spirit make flesh? All right. God, that's the promise. That's the whole promise. The seed of David. That's the whole promise. If you look in Matthew chapter 1, it gives you the lineage. The lineage. How do you have lineage? Through the seed. Through the seed of man. Through semen.
And who were his fathers? That was Abraham, Isaac, Jacob.
God. Continue on. God. Who are the fathers and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all power, blessed forever. Amen. All right. So, hey, Yahweh sent Yahweh Shai in the flesh to deliver his people, to deliver his nation. What nation is that? The nation of Israel. John, wrapped in swaddling. 7. I choose wrapped in swaddling. The wisdom or the wisdom? It's wisdom. Got it? No, you got it.
Start from the top here.
Got it.
All right, this is Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
What? Hold on. Read that again. I myself,
I myself also a mortal man,
also a mortal man,
all,
like to all,
the offspring of him that was first made of the earth.
the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Who was first made of the earth? You can find out in Genesis, or Slaki, Exodus, chapter 1 through 4. Just to narrow it down for you.
And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the 10 months.
In my mother's womb. Slaki, my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh. Was fashioned to be flesh. All right? So how was he fashioned? He came through sperm, the seed, ejaculate, whatever you want to call it. Right, the old-fashioned way. Right.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 2. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the 10 months, and the compacted in cycle. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months.
So in the mother's womb, that means the mother, all right, as any other woman, opened her legs, received the rod, all right, and got the semen. All right? Mission accomplished. Seed drop planted. Develop. Fashion 10 months.
Compacted, being compacted in blood of the seed of man.
The seed of man. That right there alone. The seed of man. The seed of man. The seed of man. What's the seed of a man? What comes out of your nuts? Semen. What do you call your kid? Supposedly. All right? Your shorty. Hey, that's my seed.
And the pleasure that came with sleep. And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature.
When I was born, I drew in the common air. All right? Breathing like anybody else. All right?
And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. I would.
Hey, that first voice, all right, was in swaddling clothes. All right? Got these fucking demons out here.
I was nervous.
Yeah, you are a demon. Keep your ass going. Yeah, you're a death angel.
And that with cares.
You're a death angel. Fucking bitch.
But there is no king that had any other beginning of birth.
Hey, beginning of no other that had any other beginning of birth. All right? Came through sex. All right? Yahushua came through sex. All right? Joseph and Mary had sex. Therefore, Yahweh put Yahushua in the womb through the seed. All right? Through the line of King David. Continuously. All right? Always. It has to happen. It has to happen through sex. We couldn't have had a Messiah if he didn't come in the flesh. If he was put there by spirit, he would have been a spirit. You know? Yeah. It's fucking demons, man. I tell you. A bitch didn't walk by, she looked at me 50 fucking times. Huh? That's what I said. Shit, huh? We'll beat her ass. It's a bitch. It's like it.
Isaiah 58, no, like it, 45, verse 6 says, "Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom."
How about Shimei Shai said he would not hold the silence, be a recompense to the bosom. It's like I know. Yeah. So I got another one. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 4. Thus saith Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. All right. So hey, these higher elites, these other nations hold themselves not guilty when they make Jake go off. All right. When they have Jake have heart disease for eating fucking pork. All right. You know, smoking all these cigarettes. You know, any cigarettes, smoking weed and everything. They don't hold themselves guilty. All right. Our nation is a cash cow for these motherfuckers. All right. The only reason why their families are up are off the back of us. But you're seeing them in their lowest state now. All right. You're starting to see that transition, that trading places. All right. You got bugged out fucking Edomites everywhere, living in fucking tents like roaches. Right. Jake is still there too, because we're still under the curses ultimately. But hey, you're seeing it more and more. You're seeing the pride of Esau Edom dwindling down. All right? Dwindling down a little bit before their fucking destruction. They're a bunch of unjust judges. I'm gonna get this in the book of Psalms. Hey, this is the book of Psalms. I'm gonna start at this is chapter 58. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? All right? Do we judge uprightly? Because we know these other nations do not judge uprightly. All right? Continuously, once again. You go down into the hood, who's selling singles and malt liquor? All right? You can send a little kid in there, not even of the proper age, and still get some cigarettes and malt liquor sold to them. Why? Because they don't give a. They want your nation destroyed. All right? They want to keep you in bondage and servitude. Verse 2. Yea, in heart, yea, you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who? Esau, Edom. Right. But continuously say it wasn't me. All right. They cause problems with everybody. They're the colonizers. They colonize everywhere that they've went. Everywhere that they touched down, every place, as their blessing is right now, has been conquered. They're making everybody drink of that wine. God. That's why all those fucking embassies are up. Why does America have embassies all around the fucking world? They're the watchers. Verse 3, the wicked are strayed from the womb. These damn devils are strayed from the womb. Soon as they come out the womb, going off. They ain't got no other choice. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Speaking lies. Their fucking cry is a lie. You got a little Edomite baby, and his crying is lying. It's lying. So it didn't say when it became a toddler. It said as soon as it be born, speaking lies.
Now, who took the, I don't know if it was a ticky or what, but she was like, a black man? Yeah, that's a prime example of that picture. A black man's story. Yeah, he used to cookie or something. I forgot what it exactly was.
God.
That's besides the point. Like,
hey, this is verse 4. The poison, Salakia. Their poison is like poison of a serpent. You know, it's that same poison, Salakia. Where is that poison? Where's that serpent? That's that same serpent that was back in the garden. That's Eve. That serpent that beguiled Eve. It's that same poison. That same philosophy. That same fucking lie. God. They are like a deaf adder that stoppeth their ear. Because you can't tell them nothing. Right? You can't tell them that this is good. I didn't hear you. I don't know what you're talking about. I run this. Right? And you see that same spirit going into our women and men. Verse 5, which will not hearken to the voice of Slakia, will not hearken unto the voice of charmers, and charming never so wisely. All right? Verse 6, break their teeth, O power, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lion, O Yahweh. All right? Continuing on. I'm just going to go to a verse. You can break it down if you want. Let them melt away as water which run continuously.
that's going to be that fire, so they're going to melt the fervent heat.
God.
The elements going to melt. Your body's going to melt too. Obadiah up there took his stubble. Jacob is the flame.
God. Hey, and this goes on to say, God, when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrow, let them be as cut in pieces. Hey, so how about Shimmy Shai shoots that bow, that ICBM, that thermal nuclear fire that hits from those ICBM missiles.
You don't know where it's coming from. It's coming.
God. Hey, we know it's coming from the east. We know the Middle East is gonna go ahead and shoot it over here.
Not somewhere, but
Hey, it's gonna come from all these countries.
Right.
All these countries on this horde. The horde that sits on many waters. All right? Because everybody's fed up with America. All right? All these other nations don't have the fear that they had once for America. All right? All these other nations are starting to say, fuck the bully. We'll take them on. That's that coming down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. No. Good. Got something else? Hey. But all right. With that, we're going to go ahead and close out. We want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bahashem Dabadad, the house of David. This is Men of Valor Las Vegas Camp. Till the next time, Shalom.